Alright, here we go. That's a little bit better. So, bear with me here. Having a couple technical difficulties early on. Like I said, Facebook's changing things. The live version of their feed switched over to a different version. Of course, hopping on, I felt a little bit overwhelmed to make a quick change that way. So they did that to me a couple weeks ago. I'm going to stick with the old for now, going through enough changes as it is here, evolving with the times. Maybe I'll check it out, and I'm sure there's some benefit to it in some regards. So we'll give people a couple minutes here to hop on. We are back with the Build a Better Back virtual class. This is class number 5. We are going to be continuing doing the Build a Better Back class on Facebook Live here on our Modus RX physical therapy page for the next 3 or 4 weeks on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 9 o'clock. So feel free to join us. If you are having struggles because of the changes that are happening right now, if your lifestyle has kind of done a 180, if you're doing different types of workouts and it's not agreeing with your body, or if you're just looking for some clarity and some accountability on things you can do from home to make sure you keep momentum going through this time, make sure you reach out to us. We're happy to help you. So we are open seeing people in person on a case-by-case basis and seeing people in the clinic still, but we have a lot of people that have switched over to digital physical therapy and are doing some of the online sessions that we have and seeing really good results with it. You may or may not have gotten some of the emails and seen some of the other successes. So if this is something that you might be interested in to get some clarity on what's going on, to get some help, keep your momentum going, make sure you reach out. You can email us, you can give me a call or a text, 920-540-2344, and we'll get you going with some progress, some accountability, and some answers on what you should or shouldn't be doing during this time if you're having any struggles. So back pain, shoulder pain, knee pain. A lot of people are sitting in different chairs now. A lot of people are running outside on pavement that maybe they weren't necessarily before. A lot of people are doing body weight classes. So make sure you reach out to us and let us know if there's any way we can help. We're here for you, and we're happy to hop on a digital physical therapy session if that's something that you might feel like you'd benefit from. All right, so we're going to get rolling with the start of class here. Kind of pick up where we left off from last week. We're going to be starting off on the ground, getting the hips mobile, and then we're going to work our way up slowly but surely, hands and knees, kneeling, standing, and going from there. I am going to continue to try to make class a little bit more challenging, but we got 3 or 4 weeks here minimum that we're going to progress, so we'll take it session by session, all right? And hopefully everybody's doing well. Personally, it was an interesting morning. Got up, did my 5:30 a.m. workout, and then felt so wiped that I actually went back to bed for about 45 minutes, and of course when I got out of bed that second time, it was a little tough and going, so looking forward to getting moving here. I think that'll always help. Mary Lou, how you doing? Hard to find you this AM. Yeah, so Facebook, if you didn't catch my early stuff, Facebook changed some stuff with their live platform, and I got on and got all sorts of confused and stressed and everything else. So I accidentally went on to my personal page, which I don't think is the worst thing in the world, and maybe I'll even get a second live stream going on my personal page just to try to get this out to more people in case people don't like the page, don't like our physical therapy page. But anyways, it was a big scramble to get over and get on the right page here. So glad you're with us. Glad you found me. Hopefully it'll be worth the efforts to find here. So we're gonna get warmed up. If you're joining the class for the first time, we always start with a little bit of a warm up to get the blood pumping a little bit here. And what we're gonna start with is from a standing position. We're going to start with some opposite arm and knee drives. So we're going to march in place. We're getting the arm pumping, the opposite arm pumping as the knee gets raising. And we'll start moving through this stuff a little bit quicker here so that we can save some time for the good stuff at the end. Remember, at the top, pause. Give yourself a little pause, and then we're squeezing the cheek on the stance side, okay? Get that knee up to about hip height, and then squeeze the cheek on the stance side. So what's good with everybody? What's happening? Type into the comments. Let us know how you're doing. Let us know what's good. Good. All right. Give yourself a hug. We are going to do a mini lunge forward and then rotate over the knee that's forward. Mini lunge over. You're trying to keep your trunk tall and rotate your spine and your shoulders as we do a mini lunge forward. Keeping the lower body like a statue while we rotate that upper body. Maybe 2 more on each side here. I'll be popping over to the camera and the mic in the comments just to check in. If anybody has any particular questions or concerns, things they've been struggling with, kind of with the new lifestyle that we got at home here, make sure you let me know. Now kind of the polar opposite. You're going to give yourself a hug, cross the hands over the shoulders, and then we're going to rotate the lower body while trying to keep our upper body like a statue. So I'm going to plant onto my left leg here. I'm going to take my right leg, I'm going to sweep up and around, rotate the pelvis, and then come up and back and down. Trying to show good balance and stability on my stance leg, and then sweep that leg. That right leg is sweeping up and across. You can bring it up in line with the hip. I'm trying to keep my body nice and tall and stable. I'm not trying to be side to side a lot here as I do this. But we're trying to rotate the lower body underneath those shoulders up top. So yeah, so we got some in-person sessions, case-by-case basis, people that are still needing us and really struggling with some different things because of the changes in the world right now. Let's switch sides. Some people that don't want to lose momentum, but then we're doing pretty well with the digital physical therapy. A lot of people are getting good benefits from hopping on a call. So it's actually a video call through our documentation and billing platform. It's actually HIPAA compliant and protected, so you're not going to get Zoom bombed on our PT Everywhere platform. So it is secure, and we're able to get you some answers and get you something to be working on through this interesting time. Good. All right, take a little breather here. We're going to do our side lunges. So hands can be wherever's comfortable. We're going to take, make sure you got all me here. We're going to take a big step to the right. We're going to get the hips kicking back. The trail legs stay straight. And we're shifting those hips back like we're trying to sit on a mini bar stool. The knee that's kicking out can bend somewhat, but we're kicking those hips back. I'll show you a side view here. So you keep going on the same side. But as I side lunge, hips kick back, knee slightly bends, but my shin stays pretty much vertical, straight up and down. Trying to load into this hip a little bit, and then demonstrate we can keep a nice neutral spine. Give me 2 more this way. Okay, so oftentimes we'll find the warm-up can be almost more challenging than the early portion of the groundwork we do. But we do want to make sure, kind of a simple but often forgotten about thing, we want to make sure we have a good warm-up. And a good warm-up is really getting the heart rate slightly elevated, getting some of the key muscles that you're going to use working and activated, maybe focusing on different planes of movement. So, if you were going to warm up, don't just do push-ups and running in place. Make sure you get a couple different planes of movement, side to side, rotation. Work on keeping one part of your body stable while the other part of the body is moving. But more importantly, just make sure you're actually doing 5 to 10 minutes of a good dynamic warm-up. A lot of us run into problems when we go from one extreme to the other. So we tend to value our workout time so much that we're sitting all day, and then all of a sudden we, hop out on the road and start running, and it gets to be too much of going from one end of the extreme to the other. So you want to make sure you give yourself that good warm up here. All right. What do we got on? Evan, what's happening, buddy? Leah, how you doing? Patricia, appreciate everybody hopping on. Make sure you type in the comments live if you're with us, so I know you're here. Tell me what's good, what's happening in your life, what's positive. We're going to work just a little mini side step, plant the leg, and kick the butt. Alright, so just get working side to side a little bit. Trying to kick your heel to your bottom, and then stabilize on that stance leg for a brief moment. So we'll start off today on the ground, working on some key mobility in the hips, in the upper back, making sure we're moving where we should be moving, so this portion right through here, particularly our low back, doesn't have to compensate for lack of movement and mobility. And let me just get this off. Evan, we're doing rock solid, buddy. We're doing great. Thanks for joining us. Alright, so what we're going to do, we're going to hop onto our back here. Oops, got to switch camera. Like I said, bear with me today. Little draggy getting out of bed for that second time after the morning workout. So, what we're going to do, we're going to have feet a little bit wider than shoulder width. Okay, knees are bent, feet are flat, and by now you probably got this one memorized if you've been working with us at all. We're going to do some hip drops, we call windshield wipers. So you want to make sure your feet are wider than shoulder width, so that when you get that hip drop down, you're getting a good angle at the hip to get some end range stretch. So the only bummer about the online class, Facebook Live won't let me show any, what do we got now? Facebook Live won't let me show any. Sorry about that. Facebook Live won't let me play any music, so that's the only bummer about this. But otherwise, we're making do. Usually we run this class in person every Thursday at 9 a.m. But for the time being, we're going to be Tuesday and Thursdays, 9 a.m. Join us. Good quality stuff. Anybody has any specific problems, make sure you let me know. Reach out. We'll hop on a digital PT call. A lot of people are benefiting from it. Comfort of their own home, don't have to leave, and they get some good answers. Good, let's take the right ankle over the left knee. Still working side to side. Okay, still working side to side. Pelvis and low back can lift off the ground, but we're trying to keep the shoulder blades in the ribs, upper ribs, down and flat. Slow and controlled down. Make sure you're breathing with this. Okay? So, if anybody's hopping on for the first time, the goal of this class is to really explore movements. There's some consistent pattern in terms of how the class is programmed. We're going to start on the ground. It's like a baby learning how to walk again. We're going to start on the ground and give you some help and some support from the ground while we kind of flail our limbs around different ways. Go ahead and switch sides. And then we're going to start working on body weight and getting on hands and knees and crawling like a baby would. Not literally, but kind of. And then we work on kneeling and getting body weight down that way, and then we get all the way up to standing. So we're always exploring different movements and different challenges. Overall, the goal is to get mobile where we hopefully should be mobile, get stable and strong where we should be stable and strong, and simple but not easy is kind of the other overarching theme of the class here. All right, switch back, right ankle on top of the left knee. All right, we'll do a couple here and then I'll pop up and check who's all with us and see if there's any questions so far. So now we're going to start working on a little bit of activation, engagement of muscles. So I got my right ankle over my left knee. I've put my left foot now in line with my left shoulder. I'm going to bring my hands to my side or up here if I want for an extra challenge. But we're going to lift the hips up by pushing down through that left foot and then come down slowly. Okay? Drive the hips up, pause at the top, down slowly. Now as I drive down through my left foot, I'm also pushing my right knee out away from me. So I'm opening up this right hip while I work my left buns. You're trying to keep your pelvis and your torso square and stable. Just because you're popping up on one side doesn't mean you want to be rocking all over the place. Okay? Now, throw in on the way down, try to lift your left foot and pull in towards your chest without using your hands. Good, foot comes down, press bottom up off the ground, pause, down, then lift the foot. You should feel a nice stretch in this right cheek and a little bit of core work while we try to pull back. Alternate in and out of those positions. This is a good time to evaluate how different challenges go for you. If you find that something is really, really noticeable, more challenging or painful than it should be, certainly reach out, let us know. But be careful, don't push through anything, let's switch sides. This class is not necessarily meant to diagnose or give you a medical diagnosis. It's a wellness class to help you. So if you're stiff and achy, that's one thing, but if you're really, really flared up and symptomatic, make sure you reach out either to us or to your trusted medical professional to get that figured out before you start getting too deep into this class here. Good, I'm going to go right into the lift and then the pull back. Lift the hips up and then lift that right foot and pull back. So what I'm trying to give a lot of you is multiple birds with one stone, so to speak, as we do these movements. There's always a couple different things happening, even with very simple movements like this. Good, give me 2 or 3 more here. Check the comments. Beautiful. All right. Hope everybody's doing well. Thanks for hopping on with us here. If you got a foam roller at home, now's the time to grab it. If you don't have a foam roller, certainly don't worry about it. You can still complete this just as we are. I'm going to lay on my right side. Okay. I'm going to bring my left knee on top of the foam roll. My left knee is right in line with my hip, and it's bent about 90 degrees. My right leg down here is straight. Bringing my hands together. I'm going to take the top half of the body, and we're going to open up that chest towards the sky. Now I'm trying to keep my knee on the foam roller here. So as I open up my top half, I'm also kind of pressing down with my knee on top of that foam roller. Make sure you're breathing. If you don't have a foam roller, you can grab a pillow, you can grab a football, you can grab something that's going to prop that knee up a little bit for you. If you don't have anything at all, you can get it done without it. It's just going to make your turn and your rotation a little bit more challenging. Good. Now, take your right hand. If you're on your right side, take that bottom hand and grab on top of the knee. We're going to add a little something to this. As you open up that top half of the body, you're going to lift your knee up into your hand. You're playing tug of war with yourself, basically. So the hip is trying to pull your knee up. Your hand is kind of blocking you there. So you're fighting against your own resistance. About 5 5 seconds, and then close the book back up and relax the lower body. Open the top half first, then try to lift. Good, then relax. We'll work from this right into our scissors pattern, which I'll show you here in a second. Give me 2 more. Good. Now, keep your foam roller close by, or put it on the other side, because that's what we're going to flip over to next. But we're going to do the big progression here for our open book. So, a really cool exercise to work a little bit of everything. You're going to straighten out both legs and stack them. You're going to lift your top foot so that it comes slightly above the height of your top hip. And now what we're going to do is we open up the top half of the body. Our foot moves forward and that leg goes forward, but we try to keep the same height off the ground. And then as we close the book back up and reach forward, we push that hip back behind us. So let's open the book, leg comes forward, close the book, that hip goes back into extension, and we're squeezing that cheek. Okay? So you're trying to keep the foot the same height off the ground the whole pattern, but you're moving it forward and back to get some good glute and side hip work here. Slow and controlled wins the race here. Give me 1 more each way. Good. We're going to go ahead and switch over to our other side. How's everybody doing? Give me a virtual thumbs up if you're doing well. If you're not doing well, make sure you let me know. Tell us in the comments. Let us know what's going on in your world. Let's keep it to mostly good things. Good. We're just doing the first open book pattern here. Propping that knee up. Remember, it's right in line with your hip, okay, about 90 degrees. And then we're opening that top half of the body. This setup position becomes pretty important because it kind of puts your low back in a neutral, safe place. And it really forces the rotation to happen up top through the upper body, which is what we want for now. Good. Take your bottom hand, okay? Prop it on top of that knee or that thigh. Now, as we open up the top half, we're going to try to lift that knee up towards the sky. Play tug of war with yourself. Relax, and then close the book back up. Open the book up. Lift the thigh. Lift the knee. Good. Close the book. About 3 more here. Good. Very good. All right. You can move the foam roller out of the way. We're stacking the top legs. We got the book kind of closed up top. Now we're lifting that top foot about a little bit higher than your hip height. Okay. As I open the book, the leg swings forward. Still trying to keep it high or the same height. As I close the book, that leg swings back behind. I'm really trying to squeeze the right cheek now as I push that back behind me. Open the book up top, that leg forward, close the book, kick that leg back. So if you're liking the challenge, you want to build a better back, more resilient back, regardless of what reason it is. Maybe you're a golfer, maybe you gotta get on the floor with your kids through all this madness. You're playing home teacher. Maybe you're sitting on chairs that you wouldn't normally be sitting on for work. If you're getting something out of this, you can join us every Tuesday and Thursday at 9 o'clock. Same place, same time, assuming yours truly doesn't screw up the technology. We will be here for free for you. Good. Never underestimate the power of some good quality movement through these interesting times, all right? So, a little bit different types of movements. I've often thought this class, for the people that work with us, often thought it's a good combination of physical therapy, yoga, and specific build a better butt program, Brazilian butt lift program, which will be coming out for sale from yours truly, $9.99 Brazilian butt lift program. Be on the lookout. Great deal, great value. Mostly kidding, but maybe not. My wife tells me I need to get new material, so I'll work on it, I promise. All right, we're working hands and knees now. Holly, what's up? Thanks for hopping on. All right, we're working hands and knees now, okay? So spend a little bit of time on the ground. Now we're going to start working hands and knees. We are going to work opposite arm and opposite leg, extending out, squeezing, bringing the elbow to the knee underneath, good, and then coming back out and pausing, and then down. Let's alternate sides. Out, try to touch your elbow to your knee underneath, back out, good. We'll get a pretty challenging or more challenging progression here from hands and knees, good. Good, everything is about, right now, this portion of the class, it's about exploring your ranges, exploring your stability. As we go through from 4 points of balance here to 2, can you pretty much stay rock solid? Especially as we introduce some movement. Good, all right? Now from the all fours position, hip circles, all right? If you're at your, again, I'm using the same jokes, I apologize, but if you're at your digital virtual happy hour tomorrow night, or tonight, or 10 o'clock this morning, depending on what time and how bad things are for you, if you're at your virtual happy hour, you can tell people that you're doing controlled articular rotations in your low back class, and they'll think that you sound either really intelligent or like an alien from another planet. But controlled articular rotations, huge portion of our programming is to take the ball and socket joints, or many other joints, but for sure the ball and socket joints, and start to work through the biggest, slowest, annoyingly slow rotation that you have, all right? So I'll show you from the side here. We're trying to take the hip, we're keeping it 90 degrees, I'm bringing that up into extension, I'm kicking my leg out to the side like a dog peeing on a fire hydrant, slow and controlled, I'm coming up towards the chest, down, and then I'm reversing back. So if there's a Sharpie pen on the tip of the kneecap, you're drawing the biggest possible circle that you can, slow and controlled, without cheating a ton through your back. Okay? Pure hip extension right there. Minimal back movement, kicking out to the side, slow and controlled, coming around, down, good, reverse back. Slow and controlled. We're getting good range of motion through the hips. We're working the hip as well. Now, keep working. Show you a little progression here. But what's important about this, it seems simple. It doesn't seem like that big of a deal. The slower you go and the more you use your muscles in these different ranges that you wouldn't normally use them, it's like hitting the save button on your body's mobility. So mobility is good to do with a band or a bar or with your body weight to the ground, but if you can do it controlled where your muscles are doing the movement and you're getting into new end ranges, that's like hitting save on that document, and the next time you come back to moving that way, you're going to have better available range of motion. So, sticking on the same side. If you're working, you're getting tired, I apologize. Sticking on the same side, I'm going to do my hip circle, but I'm now going to take my left hand and I'm going to hover my left hand, or I'm going to bring it to my left shoulder. And now I'm going to work on my controlled articular rotation, my hip rotation, with only 2 points of contact. My right hand and my left knee, as my right hip is going through the biggest possible but slowest possible range of motion I got. Okay? So if you're not ready for this because you're all over the place, like so, don't worry, stick with the 3 points of contact and just work that way. Alright? Now, stop, go ahead and catch your breath for a second. Take your body weight and just lean over to the right with the hips. Alright? Just rock your hips over to that right side. We'll get a nice little side body stretch while we're here before we switch over to the left side. So what else can we talk about in our time together? I'm open to any good Netflix recommendations, not called Tiger King. Not that I have a ton of time, but Fridays and Saturdays, Beth and I usually try to spend a little bit of quiet time together after the kids go to bed. So looking for some different options that way. Good. Let's switch over to the left hip. Takeout restaurants. Got a good one from my buddy last week, but still trying to support who we can that way. Left hip. Slow, controlled articular rotation here. Too busy working right now to type anything in for me. Make sure you type it in at the end. I am all ears. Netflix, books. I'm pretty much tapped out, maxed out on my podcasts. I don't need any new ones of those. Any other good home workout facilities? I know some of the local gyms are doing a great job getting their workouts online. Any recommendations so that we can help others in the group would be appreciated. Good. Now, take the right hand and hover as we work left hip rotation. Okay? Now what's beautiful about this, again, 3 birds, 1 stone, right? My right hip, the hip that I'm not moving, is actually screaming at me right now because apparently that hip needs more work on the stability, kind of weight bearing, strengthening side. So we get the benefit of the hip that's moving is working, but we're also getting the benefit of the hip that's down is working on stability. Boy, it looks nice out, but I'd be lying if I didn't say it felt like fall this morning, not spring. Good, 1 more each way. Slow and controlled, Eric, slow and controlled. As you notice, you start to fatigue a little bit maybe. Start speeding that motion up a little bit. That's how you know you're getting tired. Now let's start rocking into that left side, right? I'm just keeping my shoulders square and I'm just rocking into that left hip socket. Really nice little self-mobilization and glute stretch you can do here. Just bring your knees together, keep the weight through more of the side that you're leaning towards, and then it's almost like you're trying to drive that hip up and back as you put some weight through that thigh bone there. Good, we got one more thing to do on hands and knees here today. Okay. Oh, I saw a like. Appreciate it. Saw a like. Saw the thumbs up. Means one person's watching. Appreciate it. hands and knees, we're going to go into our liftoffs. All right, so very, very simple, not easy move for a lot of us. Get the hands right under the shoulders, knees right under the hips. You're digging the toes into the ground. All right, we're not relaxed here, we're here. And what I'm going to do is just a slight lift of the knees. Okay, so I'm keeping my chair position basically. I'm driving into my hands and my toes and just hovering the knees up off the ground about an inch. 3, 2, 1, down. Good. Okay. And up. 3, 2, 1, down. One more with all 4 points of contact. 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Now, as we come up, touch your left shoulder. Good. Down. All right. If you can't touch the shoulder, maybe you just hover the left hand. Good. What you're trying to do, keep the hips and the core square as much as you can as you lift. Alternate hand to hand. Okay. Now, right foot down. Going from 4 points of contact to 3. Left foot down. Right foot down. I feel like I'm singing out a song, like a cha-cha slide or something. Right foot, let's stop. Left foot, let's stop. Lift that left foot. Good, down. All right, let's go into a little bit of a prayer stretch here. Sit back on the heels, maybe widen the knees a little bit. Let your head and chest drop towards the ground. We're going to work on a little bit of a flexion, extension flow here. So after you've worked on breathing from this position, bring yourself up, walk your hands forward slightly, then let the hips fall into extension. You can look up towards the sky. Breathing in and out of the belly as that pelvis and low back sags. Good. Shifting back onto the hips, working in and out of this flexion extension. Keeping an eye on the time here. Got about a solid 10 minutes of work left. Again, we'll finish with some breathing time together. Give me a couple more there. I'm going to take a look at comments, see who's all joining us. Hey Bob, how's it going? Sarah, how you doing? Hey Aunt Mary Pat, great to see ya. Thanks for hopping on. Good to see so many people hopping on to the group here. Again, make sure you type in. Let us know how you're doing. Let us know what's good. Let me know if you're having any specific issues, and we can reach out individually, set up with a digital physical therapy appointment. So they're going like hotcakes. We only got a few left for next week already. People are looking for that momentum to keep going, get some clarity on what they should and shouldn't be doing right now. If you take nothing else from this class, the last portion of the class with the breathing and the controlled articular rotations with the hips, that's all you did is those two things, probably doing pretty darn good. All right, so I gotta change my camera here so my head's not cut off, although with this beard that might not be the end of the world. All right, so we're gonna go into a half kneeling position. All right, half kneeling means one knee is down, the other leg is out forward. So front view, side view kind of looks like so, all right? My knee, hip, and shoulder are all in line with each other. But what we're doing here, we're gonna work on this half kneeling position, okay? We're gonna squeeze and tighten up the right cheek, and then we're gonna try to bring our hips forward ever so slightly to get a nice stretch down the front. And then we're just gonna reach with that right hand, come down and relax off. Squeeze the right cheek, reach, down and back off. Now you can get reach and then lean away towards your left. That might give you a little extra spice here. So we're squeezing the right cheek, the side that I'm kneeling on. We're bringing our hips forward slightly, and we're reaching and then leaning away. I'll show you a side view again here. My right knee is down. I'm squeezing my right cheek here. I should show you the other way, sorry. So I'm squeezing the right cheek. Okay, coming forward slightly, reaching, and then leaning away. Okay, it should really open up that front right side. You ever hear anybody talk about hip flexors being tight? Sometimes hip flexors, let's switch sides, sometimes hip flexors are actually tight, sometimes they're tight because they're weak. That's a whole other lecture and conversation for a different day. Now left side, squeeze the cheek, come forward slightly, forward, reach and then lean away, sorry. Squeeze the cheek, come forward, reach, lean away. I do appreciate you guys being with us today. Tell you what, it is not always easy to get on camera, not always easy to show yourself struggling with some of these things, show yourself starting to sweat, especially after we've already got one workout in today. Humble brag there, but it is, it's you know, it's not always easy to get on camera and put yourself out there in any way. So you guys are going to keep joining, keep hanging out, keep talking, keep engaging. We will keep doing this every Tuesday and Thursday to try to help you through this interesting time, all right? So let's give ourselves a little hug. Now, what we're going to do, a little bit of a newbie here, okay? If you've been in the class for a while, or you did the first couple of weeks, see what I mean? Not stable there. But if you've done the class, what we've done is we've gotten to a position where we've rotated towards the leg or over the leg that's forward. But now what we're going to do, we're going to rotate towards the leg that's forward. When we come back, you're going to lift the left knee just for a split second and try to stabilize on your right knee. If your kneecaps don't like the pressure, make sure you have some padding. And if you can't do the lift off, then just worry about the rotation for now, okay? But the goal is to rotate the spine, keep the right hip engaged, and then lift the left knee or lift the left foot like you're just slightly hovering it. I'll show you another view here. You're just slightly hovering that foot for a split second, okay? So I'm here, I'm rotating up top, I come back, I just hover that foot and I try to keep my stability for a split second, all right? That works a little bit on your hip strength, a little bit on your core strength. And for individuals that are worried about their balance or struggling with their balance or want to make sure their balance is good for years to come, these half kneeling positions are really, really good for you. They force you to not rely too much on foot and ankle, which we don't always want to do. We want to be able to use our hip and our core. I switch sides, by the way. So these half kneeling positions can be really, really good to work on that single leg stability and balance. Now, if this is too easy, what you can do, good, let's start the lift off. And make sure you notice differences side to side there. But if this is too easy in general, being in this half kneeling position, you can always walk your foot over and make your base of support really narrow, right? Almost like you're slalom skiing or something like that. That makes it a little tougher, right? Good, give me about 3 more there. And finish up. We are gonna take a look and see who's all with us. Hannah, how you doing? Deb, good to see you. Thanks for hopping on. So we're gonna finish up with some standing stuff here, okay? So, what we've done so far is we've had our, well, my head's still cut off. Like I said, head being cut off, maybe not the end of the world with this beard that we're working with here, but what we've worked on thus far, we've worked on the first 2 weeks, if you watched any of the classes, we worked on that hip hinge pattern, okay? So what I did was we took a dowel, we ran it up and down our back of the head, mid-back, and tailbone, and we worked on getting really good at pushing our hips backwards without losing those positions on the spine, without losing the neutrality or the position of our spine. So a lot of people, if I ask them to hinge their hips, which is basically just stick your hips out, right? Not squat, I'm not squatting, but stick your hips back so your trunk can fall forward. A lot of people will kind of curve their back, and you'll see how the handle on the tailbone comes way off. Or they'll get back here, but they'll really arch their back, and so now they're kind of sitting like this. So I just want you to get really solid at hinging back. This is a really good warm-up for our standing work. The point of the hip hinge is to make this movement more efficient for you so that you can use your buns and your hamstrings and still some of your back, but it's a really efficient, powerful position. If you're doing something as silly as it sounds, you're doing something like getting something out of the dishwasher or picking up your kids, you're going to be a lot more solid getting here than you are getting here. It's not the end of the world to flex your spine always, but you're just going to be a lot more efficient and powerful probably in that first position. So let's go into a single leg position now. All right, we're going. We were kind of doing this with both legs. Now what I want you to do, I'll have to show you my legs here. Now what I want you to do is work on. That is too much. And this new Facebook Live's got me all messed up. Camera angle's different. Anyways, don't delete my post, Facebook, for saying that. I apologize. All my weight on my left foot. I still have that dowel up and down my spine. Now I'm trying to bring my hips back, but only on one leg. As I bring my trunk forward, I kick my right leg back. I'm showing you what's happening here at my lower body, and then I'll show you, I'll show you what's happening kind of with the upper body. But I'm trying to keep my trunk and my trail leg in a straight line. My stance leg is soft. My knee is soft, but it's not really bending any more than where it started, okay? Now, if you're really struggling with that movement because of balance, I'll show you what you can do. But again, we're here. We're teeter-tottering forward with the trunk, trail legs going up. Okay, if you're struggling with balance, take your dowel or take your golf club, whatever it is. If I'm standing on my left leg, I'll put the club in my right, and I'm just working here now. Okay, the pattern stays the same, but I got something for balance. So let's go ahead and switch over to the opposite side if you haven't yet. Right foot now for me, soft knee bent. I'm teeter-tottering my body forward. That right leg is going up in the air. I'm sorry, left leg's going up in the air. Right leg staying grounded. This is a lot different side for me. This is a common exercise to notice big differences side to side. So we're getting really, really good at loading one hip and hamstring and still trying to keep that back nice and neutral, okay? So let's just add one more progression to that before we're done, all right? So I'm gonna bring my club down. I think everybody, my dowel or my object, I got it in my right hand here. My left foot's gonna be fixed. I'm gonna do the same movement to start, okay? So I'm gonna do the same movement to start. Soft knee on my left. My right leg goes back as I lean forward. But now when I come up to the top, I'm gonna drive my right knee and and squeeze my left cheek. And I'm just going to teeter-totter to and fro here, okay? When I drive that right knee high, my left cheek should be squeezed and on, and we should start to feel some fatigue here. You can have balance in both hands as you do this, but you can have balance in the opposite hand of the stance leg. Good. Go ahead and switch sides. Should hopefully be feeling that in the cheek of the stance leg pretty good. We're gonna teeter-totter back, drive that knee high, squeezing my right cheek now. Teeter-totter forward. Not forgetting that original angle of the spine as I'm going forward and back. I don't want to lose that original angle of my spine, right? So don't get sloppy through the spine now just because you're getting an extra challenge to the hip. Give me 2 more here. We'll finish strong. Squeeze the cheek at the top. Good. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Great work today. We saved ourselves some time here to have a little chat. We'll do a little breathing. See if there's any comments. Appreciate everybody that's joined us through. Certainly, we're going to be here, so keep sticking with us. Class will get more challenging as we go. You can make it as challenging or not challenging as you'd like. If anybody's really specifically struggling with anything, let me know, and we'll reach out and do kind of an individual call. Get you some solutions there. So, finishing up with some box breathing, okay? This is a great strategy for everybody right now when we're trying to calm stuff down. I'll keep my language clean and politically correct here. When we're trying to calm things down, trying to turn our own radio dials down, calm the noise, bring our anxiety and our anxious nature and stress and everything, just bring it back down to normal, or maybe even lower than that, hopefully. So I take one hand on the chest, one hand on the abdomen. What I'm going to do, in a comfortable position, quiet, dark place preferably, we're going to work on taking air in through the stomach only, what we call the diaphragm. So as I take air in, the hand over the belly button should move, but the hand on the chest here should stay pretty quiet. As I blow out, the air is only moving through the hand that's over the belly button, okay? So the pattern here is 4 seconds of an inhale. It's called box breathing. 4 seconds of an inhale. 4 seconds, pause at the top. 4 seconds, exhale. 4 seconds, hold at the bottom. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. Hold. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. I'll let you keep going on your own for a minute here. Once you feel like you got that down, you're certainly free to bring your hands to your side. Let's just focus on that box breathing for a good minute or two. start to bring some movement back. Pull your knees to your chest and do a little kind of egg roll side to side here. Any other specific stretches you like to do, now's the time. Preferably with those breathing strategies, you're going to give yourself a good 5 minutes minimum typically to work on. Not abnormal to fall asleep, or not abnormal to have it be a really good thing to do right before sleep. So that's class number 5 today, guys and gals. Appreciate it. You guys did wonderful. I'm assuming I can't see you, but appreciate you joining. Appreciate everybody that's hopped on just to even say hi. Check out what's happening for a little bit. Again, kind of a an interesting time, obviously. So I've had a lot of people already calling, contacting, reaching out because they're struggling in a lot of ways, but they're physically struggling because of the changes. So it could work both ways. They've changed for the worse because now they're sitting on new chairs and they're sitting on the floor and not as active as they once were, and they're not giving themselves enough time, and so they're paying the price that way. Other people are trying to actually do a little bit more with the time they have. They're getting out and running, they're trying online classes, they're doing more body weight stuff that's high rep, and that's awesome, but they're also struggling because it's a new thing and their bodies were not quite ready for it or trying to wrap their head around what's going on. So now is the time. Make sure that we come out the other side of this a lot better than where we started in any fashion. But physically, let us know. We are here to help you. We have digital physical therapy appointments, and we can certainly help you in a one-on-one fashion and get you the clarity and get you the confidence that you're doing the right things, or show you some strategies to work on differently. Or if you're just thinking, I don't know, I want to be doing something but I don't know what to do, we can build you a home body weight program right from our app. So let us know, reach out. Mary Lou, thank you. Thanks for joining. Nice work today. I trust you were rocking it. So and I also trust that you were splitting the gut at all my fantastic jokes that you've heard 17 times probably already. So anyways, I appreciate everybody hopping on. Let's come out of this thing stronger, and we'll be back Tuesdays and Thursdays, 9 o'clock, right here on the ModusRx Physical Therapy page, as long as I can figure it out. If ever I am not on right at 9, it's because Facebook probably changed something, and old man River Me is not great with change. So thanks, everybody. Have a great Thursday, great weekend, happy Easter, and we'll talk soon.